Hi, my name is Nille Sørensen. I'm the CEO of the Danish Design Center. I'm going to talk to you about when big data meets good design. In Denmark, we're quite famous for what we call Danish modern. All these fantastic products we have designed over the last 50 to 60 years. But things are changing right now. We have challenges like we consume like we have 2 or 3 of these, we just have one, so we have to change how we actually produce things. And another way is that generally these things are changing in a huge manner. We may be in a paradigm, a shift that we've never seen so big before. And this new paradigm is also moving into design. So what is design in the future, and how can we actually change design so it has more value and more meaning for people in the future? And in the past we were talking about design thinking. And design thinking was a very, very smart way of doing design for huge and large corporations, because it was all about managing the innovation as a process. So you could follow the process, you could learn the process, and everybody could pitch in if they had the abilities. What is happening now is that it's not just about designers doing this. We're actually moving into what we call the creative intelligence. And what is creative intelligence? Yeah, we're born with it. When you start, when you're a child, you ask a lot of questions, and so that creativity is still in a lot of people, even they're not designers or architects or living in a creative environment. So you can have lawyers, engineers, and everybody, and the whole idea is how can they collectively pitch into new ideas and find out how to work with new things and create systems, designs, products, whatever that gives meaning and value to people. And one of the things is that in the Danish Design Center we said, if we're going to look at 3 things that will be the drivers for the next 5 years, it's technology. Technology will be in every product. It will be the things of the internet. It will be everywhere. And then we have materials. We have a lot of new materials coming out. We have a lot of materials who are on shelves somewhere that was not it was not feasible economically to use them when they were invented. Now it's maybe the time to use them. And the last thing is big data. And big data is very, very interesting, because what is big data? How do we get design into big data? And from my view, if we can get designers and creative intelligence into these 3 areas, then we can actually make products and systems and services that really benefit the human being on this planet. So this combination of big data, where you actually take data, you see new things, you explore new things, and you'll have you'll create totally new insights, because there's a lot of things we have a vision about. Maybe is this true? Is this not true? And when we get the data sets, then we can see new patterns, and how do we move in these new patterns. So I'm going to show you a few things where data and design is working. And one of the things is what's called quantify self. We're very interested in how's your blood pressure, cholesterol, and we want to measure all these things. And there's a lot of apps coming out, a lot of things that you can have, wristbands where you can wear, and it will send you what's going on with your body. So that's collecting a lot of data, delivering it to you on your iPhone or your computer in a very nice setup. And this everyheartbeat.org is one of the websites where you actually have apps, you have everything, so you can monitor how am I doing today. Another thing is that how can you get this into a community? Because it's just not about my well-being. So when I'm running, I will have this fantastic app for Endomondo who will track how I'm running, and that can be that's good for me. But it could also be really cool if I have a community. So I can, talk to my community that I've been running 10K today or 5K. I have a problem with my shoes, and the community can come back to you. So Endomondo is actually, transferring your data so you can talk to people all over the world. I can actually run against my very good friend Arnold in San Francisco. And he can see how I did this morning. I can see how he's doing later today. So, you're competing not against the people you meet in the park, but someone else, or you have a group of people who keep you actually doing your exercise every day. But it's also about reaching out of that. And these are 2 examples. The one on your left is from a website called Folded. And Folded was asked by a lot of doctors who were researchers in HIV virus. The problem the doctors had was they were going to build this protein that actually can help cure HIV virus. But they could just do half of it. So they asked this Folded website, which is a gaming website where you actually work in three-dimensional with protein, and said, can you help us out? And they crowdsourced it. And in 3 weeks, they came back and said, this is what the end protein should look like. We don't know how you get there, but that's your job, dear doctors. But this is how it looks. So it's quite a fantastic thing. Another thing is that when you get the data in for kind of diseases, the SARS, whatever, you can start actually working on a very, very smart graphic template to find out what is going on, how is the disease moving, how do we actually stop it, and what do we do with it. So from all these data set with a very nice graphic and very intuitive graphic, you can start overlooking enormous amount of data that you couldn't do before. So then we have what I call system design, and to me personally that's the most interesting one. If we can start to get the systems right, what is the kind of systems that will help me as a citizen here in Copenhagen, or if I'm visiting New York or whatever it is. And these are just examples from Boston that have a fantastic website where they work with their community. You can write them, you can text them, you can do everything. They get your information. And the same with the New York 311 is also saying, oh, I have a problem here. And then the municipality can actually run their business a lot smarter because they get all these feeds in from their own employers, but also from all the people in that special area or the whole environment around things. And even they're tracking in San Francisco. This is from Oakland, you know, about crime. You heard the siren this morning, what was going on. You can go in and check it if you want. You can see, you know, where to go, where not to go if you're a little bit afraid of moving around in your city if you're a new tourist. And this one, I think, is the newest example of how things are moving. This is the competition for a new phone booth, payphone booth in New York. And, you know, you could say, okay, let the designers design a nice new phone booth, and then we'll just have all these wacky forms that will make a phone booth. But, you know, we all have phones. We all have a mobile phones. So what is the new concept for a mobile phone? So this one is actually doing the phone thing, but it's doing the phone thing in a very, very smart way. So it's an interactive display. You can get a lot of knowledge and information about New York, about the area you're in, about shops and other things. And you can make calls. They're free calls. But you can also see that there's these stripes on the street. So it actually counting how many people is walking down the boardwalk. How many people are walking down these streets? You can calculate that. You can calculate how many cars is there. And so they put on top of this simple phone is a whole layer of data. And the municipality can use the data, the shop owners can use the data, the people who want to move into this area can use it, even artists can use this fantastic thing about, you know, Fifth Avenue can be with different kind of lights on because the LED spans over the whole road. And the other thing it's doing is it's actually helping to drain the streets of New York when it's raining. So they actually dig down, so they get down to the sand, so they actually can, the water can run away from the streets, so maybe you will not have the floodings as bad as it was a year ago. It can even be art. I think when you actually have these fantastic data points, this is about, you know, airplanes flying around in the States in the middle of the night, and you just get these wonderful new maps where you actually see, America, but you also see, you know, patterns of where do people work, how do they fly, how do we access each other globally. So I think design is coming in to be a fantastic thing together with the data sets. And our hope is that we will have the really cool data guys and the really cool designers, that they will actually meet and start working this out for the benefit of me. So I can maybe have an app, I can get information in real time about how my city is working, where's my bike, where's the congestions, you know, I can find everything through these data sets. So I'm looking, you know, when I go to bed at night, I'm really smiling because I think data which is well designed and organized and presented will really help my future as a citizen in Copenhagen and probably all over the world in the future. So thank you very much.